quite a lot, and that's exactly what discipline is. However, in simplistic terms, it's just your ability to control your behavior on the way you live, work, and do every other thing, right? In order to be a disciplined person, then you must have to abide to certain rules, certain regulations, creeds, and what have you. Because these things are put there to help us be in check, to help us control our behaviors. They are just reminders, right, for us as humans. Because you all know that as humans, we need those reminders. So if you can see boldly certain rules and regulations, if you are a controlled being, if you had spoken to yourself in the dark in the ways that you should, and have highlighted what you want as your core values, then you should be able to say, you know what, I have told myself that I'll be a man of integrity, I'll be honest within myself, within my behaviors, and whatever it is that is the regulation of a certain place, then I must have to abide to it. So you see, do not urinate. You can't say you're a disciplined person and then you go and urinate there, right? And that's
Do not
why,
pack.
yeah, do not pack. You can't say you're a disciplined person and then you'd go and pack there. If you do any of such things and then come to claim that you're a disciplined person, you see it's in contrary to your actions and it's not agreeable anymore. So it's a universal thing, right? There are creeds already put down, and that's why those creeds are there. Without the creeds, then you can't necessarily, there's nothing to really measure, right, the level of disciplines. And that's why there are those people who brought about these creeds have thought about, as a community, as a society, you alone aren't the person living in it, right? So because you're not the only person living in it, you can't subject everyone to just your thought process, right? Because if all we are afforded with is your thought process, then it can be biased, it can be sentimental, because humans have that tendency to get biased and sentimental. So yes, that's why there are creeds and you'd have to live by it. It's also important to note that before any of these core values are things that you have to believe in, right? It's not something that you will just outline, write down and say, you know what, this is who I am. I'm a no-nonsense person. Yes, somehow when you write it down, it helps you process it even down. But firstly, I think you have to identify who you are, right? A disciplined person in this case, and then understand what it takes actually to be disciplined, right? Then try as much as possible to live up to the standards that a disciplined person would live. That way it becomes easier, I think, yeah.
And you know the thing is, when we talk about discipline like this, it's not an easy feat.
Yeah.
It's not an easy thing.
Indeed.
Not because you might not be able to live by it, but because there are people around you who thinks that you are probably doing too much. You know, we're in a world where the wrongdoers are now louder
Loudest, yeah.
than the people who actually do the right thing.
Indeed.
So when people see you follow certain principles, they're like, this person's own is too much. Like, what's the need? You are being excessive.
Yeah.
You know, what is not that deep.
But do you know something about doing the right thing regardless? It's not, you know, bad things are the easiest to get
Yes.
get with, right?
Yes.
So once you want to do something horrible, it's very easy. And when you want to get the ramification for it, it's quite easiest, right? But with doing the right thing, consistency and over a period of time, bring that, and it actually lasts longer when the ramifications come. It brings that admiration of people. It brings that respect of people. And then it brings that trust and everything that you'd get within the short-lived. the ramification for the ill things that you do might be pretty just at the moment.
Quick.
But just watch.
Doesn't have
It doesn't.
longevity.
It doesn't last. It doesn't last long. I don't want to call certain things, but even on our TV screens, there are bad examples every day. If you watch the life patterns of these people, you would see that within a year or two, they are forgotten.
Let's even bring it down,
Yeah.
narrow it down to something like eating.
Yes.
Some of us, our portions,
Yeah.
what we consume
Yeah.
every day, is detrimental to our health. You know that you're looking at obesity like this, but the courage to control your portion is a very big problem. You not know until you decide to control your portion.
Discipline.
When you keep eating and eating and eating, you'll be satisfied. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You'll be full. That's for sure. And people will think you're wealthy, you know, because we are fond of putting all these things online. For sure, you will get whatever it is you want right now. But come back when you try to lose the weight you gain from eating. You'd know that it's easy to get the wrong things.
Yeah.
But the right things are hard. It's
Harder.
harder to stay healthy. Imagine having to wake up every day at 5, going to the gym, just so that you maintain a certain weight. Not because you're looking at packs or body figure 8 or what have you, but because that state of health, you know, you need to actively work to preserve that state of health. So when we are talking about discipline, it's not just about not beating the traffic light. How about coming to work on time?
Yeah.
How about, you know, just being an example for people to see? Some people don't like places that are untidy. Do you understand? So, but the person who thinks that you are being a little too much, they can keep their clothes anywhere, they can keep their shoes anywhere, they think that the person who does it consistently finds it easy. It's difficult to be able to do the right thing. But again, what keeps you doing the right thing is your determination to stay disciplined. And trust me when I say there's gratification for that. Think about all those mates that you had in school then that were always scaling the fence, never attended lectures, got expelled from school, didn't finish, and now they're roaming the streets. One might think that, you know, these people's village people have followed them, but there are certain principles of life that you ought to have followed that you missed because you were indisciplined. There's time for everything, you know. So those things you were scaling the fence to do, there'll be a time where you'd be asked to do those things now, and how many of us actually go out the way we were being flogged not to go out? You know, you want to go out, they'll tell you to sit back, you want to collect notes, you fabricate all sorts of lies just so that you'll be outside there. Fast forward to today, you have the opportunity to go everywhere you want, but you're still inside your house. Why?
Yeah. So everything you have said is actually very true, and until you start living disciplined, it becomes really hard to see from the outside. Excuse me.
Sorry.
So a lot of times you'd think about a process and think of it really hard, but discipline, I would like to encourage everyone, is a strive, and it all starts materializing, right, or manifesting in your life the moment you take the first step. It's the first step that would make you want to protect. Your previous step will help you want to protect the next step, right? Or so the next would help